kids in real life, like, be okay with the different types of families.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about, like, then the families, like, at the end, like, all come together, and they're like, well, what does your family do? And it's like, we love to cook dinner. And it's like, oh, we love to cook dinner, too. And I was just like, oh, I thought of that movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yeah, was that for 370?
I think so.
Yeah.
We were in it together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a long time. But,
I'll have to
okay.
Anyways,
But
my one was really similar.
Yeah.
It was a little different. I just like talked about how like getting that insight of like how when they face like the criticisms and stuff from other families and
yeah,
how just because those other people are disapproving and don't quite understand, like they're still a family, and just seeing how like the kids were like, why don't they like us? Why do they keep like staring?
Yeah.
And just like they don't, like the kids don't know any different. Like it's their life, it's their norm.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
I also really liked how we got to, like, grow old with the characters.
mm-hmm.
It was just like the girls and the boys were like growing up, and at the end they had a picture of like the two moms, like they're growing old, and yeah, it was just like really cute to watch them grow up and like see those pictures of like them getting married and having like a good life, and how they bought the house back, and
yeah.
I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just throw that in there.
Okay. Trying to think of my mirror.
Your mirror.
Yes.
I can tell you my mirror. I talked about my mirror being as like acceptance. Like I kind of looked at the fact that that mother was not accepting this family just because it was different. And I kind of took that route, like how it feels to be like unaccepted just because of something that is fine to you.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
that's kind of
what
like how my mirror was, you know, like being Jewish and like not being fully accepted just because I had different beliefs than other people.
Yeah, I've had the same thing with being Christian too.
So it's like kind of the mirror I took, but like I really liked yours, how it was like really similar to your family, and I like that. I don't know.
I think a mirror that I personally had was like thanks. was kind of how, in all honesty, I used to kind of be on the side of the person who was being critical of the family. Because, you know, like I said, how I grew up in the house I was raised, so I was always, like, I was taught that homosexuality was a sin. That's how, that's what I was taught. But then, like, so I was kind of relating and seeing part of kind of my past views in that person who was being critical. And reading it, I was like, oh wow, it really wasn't cool that I was thinking of these people in this way when they're just they're so normal and so loving, you know, and so it's kind of like a weird, eye-opening kind of mirror thing, like, oh, snap, I used to kind of be like that, wasn't I? So this kind of also...
Times have changed.
Yeah, so it was kind of a happy, like a bittersweet kind of thing, like, oh, I used to be kind of unaccepting, but now I've grown up a lot and can like see that these people are just normal, happy people that just want to live their lives this way, and like that this is who they are. So yeah,
it's gonna be cool to like kind of like look back and be like, we were in that era where like times were changing and like it was being more like it was okay to be with somebody of the same gender, and like it kind of like reminds me of like segregation back in the day.
Yeah, like this.
And like now it's like normal, like totally cool. And now like I'm like, oh, I'm in that era.
Yeah, like
tell my children.
Yeah, they're gonna be like looking back someday in the history books and everything. We're like, hey, back in my day. Yeah. So.
What about the other readings, like the questionnaire for the LGBTQ? I thought that was really like just, I don't know, it just really struck me, like just reading those questions and thinking about like there's really no way for me to answer these questions, and thinking about how those are questions that people who are a part of the LGBTQ community often get asked those questions.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like,
how would you answer them? Like,
yeah. It makes kind of put you in the shoes of like their shoes and what they face, just because they're different than what everyone considers to be the normal.
Yeah, it's kind of like that article that we read, or that list that we read another week about like the people of different races, like
white privilege. Or something?
Yeah, the white privilege one. Yeah. This is kind of reminding me a bit of that. You know, like oh wow, I've never had to be faced with those kinds of questions before, and kind of a different perspective on it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that they're even asked those kind of things.
Mhm. I really like the other reading that was talking about like some of the things they find offensive,
Oh
like
yeah.
calling it a lifestyle.
Yeah, I'd never even
And-
considered that. Like that calling it a lifestyle could be offensive.
Yeah. And
That's
like
crazy.
just reading that, it made me reflect on like how I've like referred to it, and like it really made me conscious of how I was writing this. Like
Oh,
Mhm.
right
that's
up,
really
and, like,
good that you got that out of it. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like I almost feel like you kind of have to keep up and keep critically thinking of like, okay, how am I referring to this group of people? You know,
yeah.
it's like, and but then there's also like, okay, should I even be referring to them as a group of people separate? You know, or it's
Yeah.
definitely have to be aware. You know, like, okay, how am I thinking about? Yeah.
It kind of like brings me to like the gut reaction.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you felt while you were reading it.
Mhm.
I thought everything was very like connecting.
Yeah.
I know like some weeks it's harder for me to find what parts are kind of like in relation to each other, but this week it was really like straightforward,
Yeah.
which I personally liked. But yeah, I don't know.
I found myself thinking about like being a twin and being questioned because like it's
Yeah.
something different.
Oh, yeah.
So like we're always asked questions like, "What's it like to be a twin?" And
What's
it's
it like not to be a twin?
it's kind of like I don't know what it's like. Yeah, that I've actually said that to someone and they looked at me. They're like, "Oh," but it's just like
I like that.
it's just
Who
the way
was-
you're
who's older,
born.
who was born first, or
Yeah, but I feel like that question, like, "What's it like to be a twin?" really helped me to relate to like all those other questions that were listed.
yeah, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like I've had people, like I think I was talking with one of my friends who's a Buddhist, and she was like drilling me hardcore about Christian beliefs. I'm just like, oh wow, I don't know if you're going to go to hell or not. Oh gosh, she was like asking me this, like I think it was like we just sat down to have lunch together, and she's like, so you're a Christian, right? So does that mean that you think I'm going to hell? I was like, nice to see you too. It was like just getting asked those kind of questions. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
okay. Can we just get along?
I don't know. Those really just stuck with me. I liked those readings.
Yeah.
I really like the boys' embody image and the Bill of Rights for girls also.
Yeah.
I liked like the emphasis it placed on like how our ideas of like femininity, masculinity, and all that are so skewed because of media and
Yeah, it's interesting. Like,
yeah.
just, and a lot of these viewpoints are ones that we don't even really think about. They're just kind of like in our subconscious, and then like once you read things like this, you're like, oh wow, yeah, I actually was kind of thinking like, because it's become so normalized.
And just from my perspective, like I never thought about like boys having like body image issues.
Yeah.
Like it's always
So
just
girls.
been girls. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that just kind of struck me as like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, this isn't just about girls having body image issues. Guys can have it too.
Yeah, I think that's so important to remember as teachers too. You know, like, I mean, yeah, she was holding up the Barbie doll in the class. What about a Ken doll? Let's look at him with this
That's so true.
like a super
Is your
peg.
face that chiseled?
Gosh, no! Please don't
Or
let it
is
be
your
that.
abs that like
Yeah,
muscular and
and this perfect hair and super white teeth, and of course how he always gets Barbie and how he always like buys her all these things and everything. It's like,
even when I was like playing with Barbie dolls, it was always like Ken like coming in to save Barbie and
Yeah.
doing manly things and going to the gym, but Barbie would go home and like clean.
yeah, and then like you look at
I played with Barbies all my life.
and like even looking at like superheroes for kids, you know, like for these boys, they see these super powered muscular guys who are going into all this danger and never like I think they're doing it more so now, but like they never really let the superhero have emotions or show that and express that he was in pain, he was hurting, you know, emotionally or physically, you
It
know.
has to do with like a lot of superheroes are men,
Yeah, even
and
that.
men can't show
Yeah.
emotion.
Of course not.
Like,
Catwoman.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh no, but like Wonder Woman can show that she's upset and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if you ever watch on YouTube, there's this channel, this video series called Feminine Frequency. It's really interesting. It's all about women and how they're portrayed in video games. And there's this one. Sorry, I'll try not to.
Oh,
remember too long.
don't.
But it was called a video game that came out a while ago called Super Princess Peach. Like, you know, Princess Peach from the Mario series, right? And so I was like, oh, hey, cool. They made a Princess Peach video game where she's going to be the hero. Nope. I looked at it, and her...
She like the damsel.
Very similar. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, she was the hero, but her powers were based on her emotions. Like, she could get super mad, and that would, like, send some kind of heat ray or something at the villain, or she would be in love and send these little heart things that would, like, hypnotize the villain, or she would start crying and would, like, shoot water at the villain. I'm like, wait, so her only superpowers can be her emotions? That's all she can do? Really? It was so stupid. It's just like, I would not buy that for my daughter. Like, no. Like, can we have, like, I don't know, Spider-Woman or Batgirl, you know? They're pretty cool. Or, like, Teen Titans or something like that. I'm sorry, like, okay.
You're fine.
It's just like, no, I think it's so important to first, like, teach that both boys and girls can like superheroes and Disney princesses, and then, like, to have accurate representation in both. Like, can we have a Disney Prince movie? Like, I know we have Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah, I was just thinking that.
But, like, that's, like, one of the only ones that's really
Except
centered on
even then,
that.
he's not the prince till like the end.
Yeah. It's like,
He's still saving a damsel in distress.
Uh-huh.
yeah, has to save her in the market and everything, and it's just like, I wish that we could have like a really good Disney Prince movie, you know, or
Even in Frozen.
yeah.
Sorry, I love that movie.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my gosh, what
I did
is
too.
wrong with you, girl? There's the sing-along version you can go watch.
I
There's,
know.
it's supposed to come out like next month or something.
I love my
Maybe.
old
You're just gonna have to make that happen. I'm judging you right now for not saying it.
But like,
Not that I don't want to.
I won't spoil the ending, but like,
But at least it stars like two female large roles,
yeah,
which is nice. And like there's like two men, but one's good and one's bad, obviously. But I don't know.
but yeah, like the whole sibling relationship and all that. I won't.
Okay,
No,
what's up?
no spoilers.
Evaluation?
Yeah, let's talk about the evaluation and then we'll head out.
I found these texts to be really informative.
Mm-hmm.
And like just reading them and reading about all these things that really aren't talked about all that often, and how like, I don't know, it was just beneficial to me to just like read about it, how we can evaluate all these texts, and like the body image one I thought was really important to like
Yeah.
help develop body image, healthy body images for our students.
One thing that I really appreciated, like it's kind of obvious because they're giving it in an education program, but was like how all these were written from a teacher's perspective and how a teacher would explain and teach these things in their classroom, like the openly gay teacher and the teacher teaching about body image issues and all that. So I thought that was like, that made it kind of like valid and applicable and accurate. All my fancy schmancy words here, but yeah, I felt like because they were written from a teacher's perspective, I could have a better time relating to it and believing it, you know?
I think that's really important too, because we spend so much time with children. It's like 6 or so hours a day, 5 days a week. It's a lot of time to spend with them, and like, because we do spend so much time, it's kind of our job to like pick up on these like maybe unhealthy body images they might have, and to help them develop healthier ones. And
yeah, like the teacher was just overhearing this conversation going on in the hallway, and if she hadn't really been listening, she wouldn't have even had this whole curriculum. So
I read the article first, the girls' worms, before the mother's house, and so I was like thinking of questions that I was like that I was gonna apply to the book. Like I was thinking, I wrote them down. Like, are there any gender stereotypes present? Like, do both moms equally share the role of parenting? And I was just like able. I don't think I would have gotten the same experience if I read them opposite. Like I probably would have got the experience, but it was just like I had to
Not
take.
quite to the extent.
Yeah, and it was awesome to know like what kids are actually thinking. And,
Yeah.
like, look at the book that way.
I also think it's like this is something I just kind of thought of right now, but like even in like homosexual relationships, they always like say, okay, but who's the guy and who's the girl in the relationship?
Yeah.
I think that's just such an interesting kind of like, why does there have to be a guy and a girl, you know? That just kind of made me think about that. And
Yeah. I don't know.
this is a big topic for just 1 week.
I know.
Yeah,
I
these
wish-
topics are pretty heavy.
Yeah, I feel like you could just have like a whole class on these kind of,
Yeah.
but
But yeah, I think that's it.
yeah, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we've been talking for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Good.
Okay,
Solid.
alright, so bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.